Hi guys, I'm Chef Shreeya. I'm from Sushi and More, Mumbai, India. My forte is Japanese food and today I'm going to show you how to make Agedashi Tofu. Agedashi Tofu is a crisp fried tofu which is served with a radish based sauce. So let's get on to the ingredients. The first thing I'm using is a tofu. I'm using a semi-firm tofu. You can also use a firm tofu if you find it a little difficult to handle. There's a tip to using a semi-firm or a silken tofu. You can just wrap it up with a paper towel and put it in between two weights and just put it at an angle so the excess water runs out. Also, what you can do you can just put it inside the microwave for about 20 to 30 seconds and it's as good as a firm tofu. The next I'm using is some tempura flour. Tempura flour is there to just coat the tofu and then for deep frying. This is dashi. Dashi is Japanese stock. Now if you don't get Japanese stock or dashi, you can use a vegetable stock or a fish stock as well. The next is soy sauce. This is a dark soy sauce, a Japanese dark soy sauce. This is mirin. Mirin is a sweet cooking sake or a sweet cooking wine. If you don't get mirin, you can add dry white wine with a little sugar. It will get the same result. This is potato starch slurry. You can also use cornstarch slurry. I'm using that for thickening my sauce. This is grated radish and Japanese chili paste. Now Japanese chili paste is basically cooked chili paste with a little salt. This is grated radish and that is chopped spring onions. Also I'm using some oil for deep frying. So let's get started with the process. I've already drained the tofu of the excess water. Now I'm using a Japanese sashimi knife. You can use a regular knife as well. Just going to trim off a little bit to make it look pretty. And this is about 300 to 330 grams tofu. I'm going to use just about half of it. Yep, that's done. There's a tempura flour, which I'm going to use to coat. Before you start off, probably you can put your oil up for heating so that you don't waste time. There's no need to coat it with anything, no seasoning, no salt, pepper, because the sauce that I'm going to make has enough flavor in it. In case you still want to, you're most welcome to go ahead. So I would just check the oil first. It needs to be pretty much sizzling hot. Also, while coating, remember something, do not coat and keep it for a long time. Only when you start frying do you coat it. Why? Because there is enough moisture in the tofu to make the flour go soggy. So basically we are looking at a crisp outer texture and a soft and silky smooth texture with it. Agedashi tofu is one of those recipes that should be had immediately. You cannot keep it for a really long time. You see, I'd kept this for some time. It's gone soggy again. So just gently lower it into the oil. Now we let it just fry from all sides a little bit till it's about crisp to touch. You must be thinking that I'm using fried stuff and still it's healthy. Well, I think I mentioned it in my other video while I was making tempura that I'm going to serve it with a radish sauce. Radish helps to cleanse off the oil that you consume. So even though it's fried, it's not gonna affect your health. You can see it's getting slight color. I would want that color uniformly all throughout. The beauty of this dish is it's so simple, yet it is so tasty. And partly the taste comes from this Japanese stock. Now, Japanese stock or dashi has this element called umami. Umami is the sixth sense or the sixth flavor. which kind of accentuates the all other flavors that they're present in any food. The same reason why we love tomato ketchup. You love tomato ketchup with any of the fries or anything for that matter. Kids love it. Tomato ketchup has that umami factor. Fish sauce has an umami factor. Soy sauce has an umami factor. So a lot of fermented foods, a lot of this ketchup category foods, they have that umami factor that makes food tasty. It's the presence of natural glutamate that is present in these food categories that makes it so flavorful and tasty, and also brings out the flavors of the food that it goes, or the dish that it goes in. So this is almost done. You can see the nice light brown color on the tofu. Now take it out. You can keep a kitchen towel ready. I would require 5 parts of dashi. So maybe I'm going to use this round spoon and make 2.5. So it's basically 50 ml if you're using 5 parts. One part of dark soy sauce. And 1 part of mirin, or the sweet cooking sake, rice wine. Well, this is getting ready. You just need to bring it to a boil. I'm going to place the crisp tofu in my serving dish. So when it's about to come to a boil, you can add the grated radish. This is about 1.5 to 2 teaspoons of grated radish. Make sure you put it under running water, otherwise it will get too pungent. So now it's slightly simmering. It's always important to add the slurry while the liquid is boiling, not before that. So here I'll be using a spoon. This is potato starch. Potato starch gets thick really quick, so be careful about how much potato starch you're adding. Unlike cornstarch, and potato starch remains thick as well. Yeah, that's the consistency that I would like. Not too thick, not too thin as well. There's a consistency which is thicker than a clear soup, slightly thin than a cream soup. My sauce is done. Spoon this over from the sides, covering about half the height of the tofu. Garnish it with the mixture of the grated radish and Japanese chili paste. It's called oroshi, daikon oroshi. It gives it a nice color as well as some spunk to the whole dish. And lastly, the chopped spring onions. You can use chives as well. So this was Agedashi Tofu for you guys. If you like this recipe, do subscribe to India Food Network. For any queries, comments or suggestions, or if you want me to make any other recipe in Japanese food, do write in. I'll be most happy to assist. Domo arigatou gozaimasu.